The goal of today's video is to prepare for the argumentative essay, the last FRQ component that we have not talked about yet so far this year, but something that's going to come up on our next unit test. So, the first slide we have here. How can I express my opinion in a convincing way? So this argumentative essay that we're doing here, the whole idea behind this is kind of this idea of charming someone. You want to build your case to get someone to agree with your opinion in the end. And you want to do that in a forceful way, but also intelligent and kind, not to offend your reader. So, 5 steps to make this happen great. It's a 5-paragraph essay, and so each of those paragraphs has a different focus to it. Paragraph 1 should be your introduction paragraph, presenting your thesis statement in there. Paragraph 2 is going to be where you want to have a counterclaim, where you're going to refute the opposing point of view. Paragraph 3 and paragraph 4 is where you're going to include more evidence that's actually supporting your claim for this essay. And then paragraph 5 is your conclusion, where you're going to summarize and kind of reaffirm your thesis statement and kind of put a final thought on this topic. So some guidelines, things to think of. Try and have a hook sentence at the beginning of your first introduction paragraph. And you're going to state your position and support that position over and over again with evidence that comes from the sources. You want to have facts, statistics, specific examples that come out of the sources that you're given for the essay. So we're going to look at a sample topic. All of these questions that are for the essay are should questions, pretty much. So should children over the age of 12 have a cell phone? Now, obviously, the question is going to be in Spanish because it's a Spanish essay, but we're just going to kind of talk about it in English first. So, example number 1, response to this, like thesis statement creation. I think children over the age of 12 should have a cell phone. That feels like a basic statement. We want to have a great statement. It has should, which is good, but it has I think, not so good. We don't really want to use I statements in our essay. We don't have any because. We need to have our 3 reasons that are then going to become our 3 body paragraphs, basically. So it's not such a great statement here. Example 2, great statement. Children over the age of 12 should have cell phones because they promote responsibility, they assist with the organization, and they enhance independence. So right there, there's 3 reasons that are going to come up in the 3 body paragraphs in this essay, which we're not really going to look at a full one there. So you kind of need to establish some common ground and recognize the other point of view. And the counterclaim is where you're going to do this. So you're going to distinguish that there is some facts that are on the opposite side of what you're saying. And then you're going to refute it. And you're going to use statistics to build your credibility of why that's wrong and your side is right. And you want to make sure that you're using effective tone and you're making sure you're using logical statements and re-emphasize your strongest point kind of towards the end of your essay. The AP graders are going to be looking to see that you can understand all 3 sources that are given. You have to use all 3 of the provided resources, and that you can express your point of view, defend it, and support it with evidence. So this is a lot of what we've done in Spanish 2 and Spanish 3 to build up to this thing without saying a whole 5-paragraph essay. You want to have well-organized paragraphs, and you want to make sure that you refer to the sources and cite them properly. So we're going to look at citations here. So there's a couple different ways to do this. One way is to say, en la fuente número 1, 2, o 3. They each have a number onto them, the first one, the second one, the third one, and then have a quote. Another way is to kind of reference it by its source type. One is always going to be artículo. One's always going to be un gráfico, una tabla. And then the third one's always un audio. So you can reference it by what type it is. Or you can have a quote and put in the parentheses, fuente uno, fuente dos, fuente tres, whichever one you're taking that from afterwards. So let's look at the rubric. I broke the rubric into 3 different parts. The first part is looking at task completion. There's this part of the essay. Were you completing the task appropriately? Did you treat the topic, whatever that should question was, effectively? Did you stay on task? Did you clearly understand and comprehend the three sources given to you? And did you show that with being able to use good citations and sources and things like that? And then was it organized? Did you use transitional phrases to make those 5 paragraphs very clearly defined? The next portion of the rubric is the use of those sources, your ability to integrate quotes and paraphrases correctly into your paragraphs. So the fact that you integrate all 3 sources is really important. If you don't have all 3, your score would go down. And the fact that you were able to like really defend and be coherent in use of the sources, that you're not just throwing some random quotes in there for no reason. You're giving reasoning behind, claim, evidence, reasoning to the sources that you're using. The last part is basically your language ability, your ability to control grammar, vocab, spelling, and kind of like orthographic accent marks are all kind of in this portion. If you have an accuracy and variety of being able to use different grammar structures, different appropriate high level vocabulary, and that you're able to have full paragraph length sections to your 5 paragraph essay, that you've got complex sentences instead of little strings of simple sentences in there. So, tomorrow in class, we are going to actually write our first 5-paragraph essay together with a graphic organizer and kind of build up how to do this task.